sure that we have this going on. All right, how is everybody? Happy Monday morning. We're going to get started very, very quickly, and I'm hoping that the YouTube algorithm sends out the notifications quickly and rapidly. So we're going to wait 2 more seconds. If not, we're just going to continue going here because we got some things to do. Here we go. I think it's going to let us do it. All right, so we're talking about how to get some real estate leads this year, getting started. So I'm going to give you 3 real estate lead generation strategies that are effective if you're looking for that next deal, if you're looking for your first deal. These are designed to get you in front of people, start conversations, and ultimately start closing some transactions. Sorry, just messing over here with my microphone. Let me know if you can hear me okay. Sometimes the audio gets a little bit crazy on me. But hope everyone's having a fantastic start to their week. All right, so we're going to get going in about 2 seconds, just giving it a few more seconds to get going. But again, I want to be respectful of your time. Ultimately, we want to learn how to generate real estate leads on our own. We don't want to depend on companies like Zillow, like Realtor.com. We know what they do, right? So it's not something that we necessarily want to be beholden to. And at the end of the day, we're spending so much money in those platforms that we're not going to get back. Oftentimes we don't get back. So we all hear the horror stories of, I paid Zillow $5,000, $2,000, whatever it is that you pay to Zillow for this zip code, and I only got 2 leads. And of those 2 leads, only 1 was right. So, or had actual contact information. So that's something that we absolutely do not want to be handcuffed to, and really just be, I guess, yeah, handcuffed is actually the best way of putting that. That's something that we don't want to be put in that situation, because we can't necessarily control our business. We want to control the things that we can control. So that's something that we don't necessarily have too much control over. So I want to give you 3 real estate lead generation strategies that are going to help you. They're good. Awesome. Thank you so much. I got to figure out that little... I think there's a plugin. That allows for the Facebook users, when they comment, for me to actually see it over here on my end. So my apologies. I would love to give you credit and give you a shout out. Let me go over here to the Facebook group and see who commented that. Tom, awesome. Tom LaRoque. I butchered your last name. Sorry about that, Tom, but appreciate you being here. All right, so let's start off. The first real estate lead generation strategy that I want to share with you is working your sphere of influence. I know you've probably have heard that in the past. You're like, okay, well, I didn't know we were back in real estate school. I didn't know that this was my first broker again. Well, hear me out. It's important. I mean, it's a reason that it's taught. It's a reason that it's been shared time and time again on how to work your sphere of influence. As soon as you get your real estate license, you're encouraged to reach out to your sphere of influence. Friends, family, past acquaintances, past coworkers, different people within your life that you have some equity with, meaning you have some relationship equity to draw upon. So it's not a completely out of the blue, who are you type of a relationship. So that's why working your sphere of influence is very powerful, but I want to get very tactical with this, because whenever the sphere of influence teaching or strategy was deployed and introduced to the world, there was only one way of doing it, and that way was calling people, directly calling people. So this is something that's been since the beginning of time. So even before calling, there was the get in front of as many people as possible, either invite them to coffee, whatever. So these are, antiquated ways, in my opinion. You know what this channel's about. So in my opinion, those are not the most effective ways to reach out to somebody, because social media is a thing now. There's different ways for you to communicate. Your patterns, your communication, the way that you communicate with somebody is completely different at this time. I remember even in high school, I remember in high school, so in high school, just to put that in perspective, I was a senior in 2007. And right around 2007, that's when texting started to really become mainstream, to where even high schoolers like me had access to it. And I remember a friend, Brooks Mullinax, I might need to share this with him since I called him out by name. Brooks Mullinax introduced me to the concept of texting and said, hey, check this out, I can text you. And I remember looking at him like, are you stupid? Are you dumb? And I remember looking at them and I did not capture it. I did not capture the power of texting because I was like, well, I could just call you. It's the same thing. Man, was I silly. But now, of course, I don't call anybody. I text everybody. I DM everybody. I clubhouse everybody. So now it's not even, hey, let's schedule a Zoom call. No, let's clubhouse. Let's open up a room and just start talking. It's just crazy how things really accelerate. But back to the point, the sphere of influence. That's what I really want to drive and impress upon you. Different ways of communication exist now, so you don't have to make that call if you feel it's not just about you. If you feel that the receiving party is not going to be open to that, if and again, it's if somebody calls me, I feel a little bit out of place. If somebody calls me, I have plenty of friends in the financial services space that they're taught to call their sphere of influence, and I remember getting these calls, and I remember blocking a good amount of them. Just being completely candid with you. So at this point, here's what a really good strategy is. Start with 25 people. List out 25 people in your sphere of influence, your SOI. This could be family, this could be friends, this could be acquaintances. Start with 25. I know the traditional path is start with 100. Well, no, you don't start with 100. That's incredibly difficult to do. And at that point, it becomes a milestone that's just so unattainable that people just will not start. So I want to give you the least friction possible. So start with 25 people within your sphere of influence. This could be family, friends, acquaintances, what have you. So write those down. And here's an important distinction. You want to write 25 people that are at least 18 years and above, because you don't necessarily know what 19-year-old started doing contracting and is absolutely killing it in the roofing game and has $500,000 burning in their pocket. And I say that very specifically because I have people in that situation right now. So just giving you a perspective, 25 people, start there, 18 years and above, of people that you feel you would be able to help and would like to help at the end of the day. So start off with those. And then what's going to happen next is you are going to dedicate your next 5 days to reach out to 5 of those people every single day. So 5 on Monday, 5 on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and you're done with this exercise. So keep in mind, these are very tangible ways that you can start generating leads and start working on your closings for this year. So when you do that, it becomes more tangible. And when I say you reach out to them, I'm asking you to reach out to them intentionally. So these are the 5 people that I want to reach out to. I need to reach out to Daniel. I need to reach out to Chris. I need to reach out to Brandon, Jake, and Richie. These are my 5 people that I need to reach out to today. So reach out to them intentionally. If you know that this person's a caller, we'll call them. Okay? Just call them. That's fine. If you know that this person spends every living moment on Facebook and you have no idea what they even work or if they even work, so reach out to them on Facebook and start a dialogue. If you know that somebody's a texter, well, text them. So you have different entry points. So keep in mind, this is your sphere of influence. You have their contact information. So once you do that, start from where the relationship ended. So that means if you have somebody from high school or college, now let's go with college. If you have somebody from college that you haven't spoken to since graduation, well, start from that moment. Start from that moment and bring them to present day. So you're reaching out to somebody that you haven't reached out to since college or even spoken to. Start from there and bring them to today. Asking about their family, asking about where their career started, ask them about what they're doing right now. So asking all these important questions that's going to bring the relationship to where it is today, because the law of reciprocity is going to say and will show you that they're going to ask you the same questions. They're going to ask you, hey, how's the family? They're going to ask you, hey, do you have a family? What are you doing now? And it's in that question of what are you doing now that you get to introduce that you're in real estate. So if you immediately start off with the end goal in mind of just trying to sell somebody a house or put their home up for sale, then that's going to be a good way for you to get blocked. No. You start out with those people from the last moment that you engaged with them and bring them to today. Because when you get to today, you're just sharing information about your life. You're not selling anybody. Is this making sense? I want to make sure that we're okay with this because it's something that For the longest time, I'll be candid with you, I never reached out to my sphere of influence because of that hesitation, the way that it was presented to me whenever I started in real estate. So I went to a pretty good real estate school. It's one of the most popular ones here. I don't want to go on a free plug here, but here in Dallas Fort Worth, and that's what I was taught. Hey, get your list of 100 people, call every single one of them, let them know you're in real estate. And I remember getting these types of calls from my friends in the financial services, and I remember how little I appreciated that because, at the time, and I guess now too, I had a little bit of money, and people knew that. So I was on everybody's, and I'm not trying to sound like a jerk or anything, or being more self-serving than I usually am, but everybody knew that, I had a nice house, all that fun stuff. But so there was clues that led all of my friends and even past acquaintances, everyone else, know that I had a little bit of money. So I was on everybody's first wave, if you will. So getting those calls from people that just started on in Edward Jones, that started at Prudential, that started at X, Y, and Z, that got old quickly. So whenever I was told to do that, when I got my real estate license, I was very put off that I didn't do that. Had I been taught how to do this, then hell, it would have been a different story, and I would have been way more successful than I was my first year. But that's lessons learned, right? So it's very tactical, very strategic. Once you start that conversation with your sphere of influence and you're being intentional with those 5 people every single day, bring that relationship to the moment. What I call the dismount is, how do you end that conversation? The goal is not for you to have a pen pal for the rest of your life. That's not the goal. You're going in this with intentionality of gaining business. I know it sounds self-serving, but it is. It's your business. If you don't sell something, you're out of a job, or you don't have a job. You're done. So that's what when I say the dismount. So the dismount is that's when you stop communicating with them, at least for the next cycle, the next quarter that you reach out to them, the next time that there's something to actually engage with. And this is something that you want to do every quarter. So what you want to do after your first, in exchange, if you will, is you want to collect 5 data points. It's important that you collect 5 data points, and I'll share with you a 6th one that actually that's a complete database profile. So number 1, the name. You have people's name. Obviously, these are your sphere of influence, so that's not going to be a difficult thing at all. You already have that. You want to get somebody's phone number. Chances are you have a good amount of your people's sphere of influence, the people within your sphere of influence, you have their phone number. So that's not a big deal. Their email. Then you start getting into a little bit of the tricky situation, right? This is when people start, and this is things that you're asking, right? This is, hey, I want to complete my, hey, I want to make sure I have the most current information. What's your phone number and what's your email? So these are standard, if you will, but people are going to start questioning, why are you asking me all these questions? So you have their name, you have their phone number, you have their email. Those are the 3 things. Then you want to get this is not the middle finger, by the way. Maybe I should do this one. The 4th one is the birthday. You want to get somebody's birthday. And then 5th, you want to get the address. You want to get your address. Even if they're doing leasing. If they're leasing or renting, whatever, that's fine. You want to get their address as well. So it's these 2 things that are a little bit abnormal. So when you start asking for this type of information on the dismount, meaning when you're leaving that conversation for the time being until you resurrect it, either showing people, showing them homes, or having a more meaningful conversation, or come back in through a couple months from now, every quarter, to keep that relationship going. When you're asking for those 2 pieces of information, it becomes a little bit tricky. So again, you're gonna need the name, you're gonna need the phone number, you're gonna need the address, email address, you're gonna need their birthday, and then you're gonna need their address. So I want to give you strategies to get these 2, because these 2 are a little bit awkward, especially since you haven't spoken to this person since college. You didn't ask for their birthday in college, so why are you asking for it now? Well, the easiest way to collect those 2 pieces of information is asking or saying something to the effect of, hey, it was great connecting with you. I would love to send you a birthday gift. Where can I send it? So in that type of question, well, the birthday part, you're asking, what's your birthday, right? Or and then in the address part, well, where can I send it? Well, then you're gonna need the address. Or if you want to ask it a little bit more into this two-step process is, hey, I'd love to send you something. I'd like to send you something over the mail. When's your birthday? It's another way of asking the same thing. You're asking for the birth date. Once they give you the birth date, well, what do they need to give you? They need to give you their address because you're going to send them something over the mail. So if you want to ask it differently, let's see. Wait, did I just? Yeah, I already went with that one. So these are just strategies that help you get those additional two pieces of information. So we'll leave it at that. If you want another way to ask for it, I can certainly give it. But I spent way too much time on the SOI, and I have two other strategies to give you. So we're going to continue going. But sorry, the sixth one, to have a complete profile within your database, meaning in your whatever CRM that you use, you're going to need those five things. But ideally, you have a sixth element, you have a sixth field that you have filled out for that profile. Can you guess what that is? I'm going to give you 2 seconds to guess what that sixth element is. So let me know in the chat if you think you know what that sixth element is, and we can come back to it here. And well, actually, I'll probably forget, so I'll just go and tell you. When it comes to that sixth element is when they bought or sold a house with you. That date is important for you. That date is the anniversary year. It's almost like the year. It's almost like the date that you got married with that person. So you're not gonna forget your anniversary, and if you are, you're probably not gonna. If you do forget your anniversary, you probably won't be married long. Sorry, but so from that standpoint, is same thing with real estate. That anniversary date of when they bought a house with you or sold a house with you, that is your wedding. That is your anniversary date. So don't forget it. And that's that sixth element that you need, that sixth field that you need within your CRM, obviously after you have after they became your clients, that you need to account for. You need to have their name, their email, need to have their name, their phone number, their email, their birthday, their address, and then ultimately, ideally, when they bought or sold a house with you. So that is a SOI strategy. That is a strategy that is very effective and it's tangible now. Now, that's really something I want you to really deploy in your business today. There's nothing stopping you from writing at least 5 names down that you're going to be intentional with today. Because ideally the goal is to have 25 people that you write down today, but you need to work on 5 today, 5 tomorrow, 5, and then continue going. By the time the exchange is over, either if you're texting, if you're DMing, if you're calling, you want to have captured those 5 elements, because that's going to be a complete profile. You put them into your CRM and you touch them again in the next quarter. But I guarantee you that of those 25 people, you're going to have somebody that you can work with now or somebody within their sphere of influence. You are weaponizing these 25 people. So once you collect the contact information and you're getting ready for the dismount, you can go ahead and do the ask. Do you know anybody that I could help in real estate today? If you want to ask it a different way, do you know anybody that I can help in the next 60 to 90 days? I have room for one more client. These are different strategies that I just share with you. So, and are designed to continue the conversation. So after you have everybody's contact information and you ask similar phrases to what I just mentioned, you're not saying, hey, do you want to buy or sell a house with me? No, you are asking them, hey, who do you know that I need to speak with? Who do you know that I can help? So that way it doesn't become a direct ask. Now, if you're more of a direct person than I am, that's completely okay. You're probably going to ask them directly. Can I help you in any way in the next 60 or 90 days? You can do that if you want. I personally wouldn't, knowing me, but I'm different than you. So if you feel more comfortable in just directly asking them about themselves and then asking them for their others, that's okay. The reason that I ask for the others, hey, who do you know that I can help in the next 60 to 90 days, is because I'm tapping into their sphere of influence. So I'm weaponizing these 25 people. But beyond that, they're going to tell me if I can help them directly. So by me asking, hey, who do you know out here? They're going to tell me, hey, I actually was thinking about selling. So there's a strategy right there. All right, so I spent way too much time on that sphere of influence, so let's get going. Now, a way that you can work your sphere of influence in a different way, this is strategy 2. We just talked about your sphere of influence. The way that you can leverage your sphere of influence and then some is by going to your social media right now, whether you are very active on Facebook, whether you're active on Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, whatever it happens to be. For our purposes, we'll go with Facebook. You're going to go to your Facebook page and you're going to friend anybody and everybody that's on your suggested list. Anybody that you probably could know. I know that you have that list where it says suggested friends, but out of ego, out of pride or whatever, well, they haven't invited me to be friends, so I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to be the first person that sends out that friend invite because that gives them power. If I'm the only one that thinks that, then maybe I'm projecting. But that's how I used to think for the longest time. I was like, well, I mean, if they haven't invited me to be friends at this point, then I mean, I don't sure want to be friends, so I'm going to ignore this suggested friends list. No, let that go. Let that go. So start friending everybody that you would at least have a hunch that remembers you, because you clearly remember them. So friend everybody that you possibly can, that you know of course, whether they were past high school people, whether they were in grades higher than you, lower than you, what have you. High school ends at some point, right? So college ends at some point, right? Your previous employment, depends on where you were, that ends as well. So befriend everybody that could potentially, be of an acquaintance to you. But so second strategy is we're gonna do some Facebook posting that's designed to get you some listings, designed to get you some seller leads. So it's very, very simple. You're gonna go to your Facebook newsfeed, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna ask the following: what year did you buy your first home? In what year did you buy your first home? That's what you're gonna post on your Facebook. And what you're gonna see is a lot of people come out of the woodwork, some that you have never spoken to before, directly or in years. You're gonna find some people that just befriended you over the years. You're gonna find some peers as well, so other real estate agents, some lenders. They're gonna start commenting on that. So again, in what year did you buy your first home in? You post that on Facebook, and you're gonna have people from all walks of life commenting. Boom, boom, boom. 1999, 2005, 2020, and you're gonna see some people that are, I want to buy my first house this year. So you're gonna have so many people commenting, and you're gonna get a lot of people that are basically, by them commenting, they're telling you what? They're telling you that they're homeowners. They're telling you that they have a home. So that is the power of this post, because it's a non-threatening post. You're not asking to sell somebody's house. You're not asking to buy somebody's house. You just made a question. So people are going to comment. So for the people that say, I'm looking to buy my first house, or maybe next year, or this year is a year, then that's more on your buyer side. But the primary driver of this post is going to be sellers. So when that happens, you're going to acknowledge the comment. So you're going to hit that like button or that heart button and hit the reply button, just acknowledging, hey, thanks, or awesome, good connecting with you. Hey, how are you? Blah, blah, blah. So you're going to make those comments that reply to those comments so you can acknowledge them. But the strategy and the heavy lifting actually happens after the fact. This happens when you click on their profile and go to their DMs. When you're in their DMs, that's where it goes down. Everybody knows it. Everything goes down in the DMs. So when you reach out to these individuals, you apply the same strategy that I just shared with you on the sphere of influence. You go back to where the relationship ended off. If this is somebody that you used to work with, we'll start from there and bring them to present day. If this is somebody that you had as a friend in high school, or even was not a friend in high school, they were 2 years before you or after you, whatever, you're going to go back from those days and bring them to today. So it's going to give you a reason to connect with them from where they were, bring them to real life, meaning asking about their family, asking about their career, asking about their X, Y, and Z, and bringing them to today. Is the exact same strategy, except here you don't have to write down the 25 people that I mentioned, because when you write down the 25 people within your sphere of influence, you are being more proactive. This is more of an attraction post. With the other one, you're pushing the relationship. You're pushing it forward. Here, you're attracting the relationship by the post, people commenting, and then you are Sorry, the camera looks a little bit fuzzy. I need to fix that. You are attracting people to your post. So that's the second strategy that I want to share with you. And then the third strategy that I want to share with you is the open house strategy. And if there's any questions, please feel free to drop them down below. Also remember that a like goes a long way. If you wouldn't mind hitting that like button, and also subscribing if you haven't already, really do appreciate it. And lastly, tagging anybody that you think could benefit from this video. So those are two strategies. One, your sphere of influence, write down those 25 people that you can impact today. Two is making your attraction posts, so having people come out of the woodworks and connect with you. And then three, a strategy that is not talked enough on this channel. I'll just be honest, I don't talk about this strategy a lot in this channel because my channel is more about the online medium. So I don't really bring this topic up too much, but I think I do have to in this particular space because I really want you to be intentional and get some leads with people that are going to be more likely to use your services. So the strategy that I'm alluding to is using and leveraging open houses. Now, open houses is something that's been done since real estate started. Now, there's different twists to the way that I teach the open house strategy. So for one, it's you want to use mega open houses as opposed to open houses just by itself. And the reason that you use mega open house is because it stands out. And you're going to ask me, well, what constitutes a mega open house? Nobody knows. Nobody knows what that means. So it could be just a mega open house because you called it that way, and that's what I'm actually suggesting to you. Just call it a mega open house. Nobody's gonna ever call you on it. With this mega open house, what you're gonna do is you're gonna secure a house. You're gonna secure a house every single weekend. You can do that on Saturday. You can do that on Sunday if you want to do 2 open houses on a Saturday to get there quicker. Then that's a fantastic strategy for you to start pulling in a ton of real estate leads that are going to ultimately use you. So with your open houses, you're going to secure the open house because they don't have to be your listings. Just as a heads up, let me just do this little quick refresh over here. The open houses do not need to be yours. So these houses do not need to be your listings. You can get the permission to do an open house from the brokers that you're with, from other agents around the area, so you can always do that. And again, this does not need to be your personal listing. So as long as you have permission, then you can do an open house. So once you schedule the open house, typically you want it to last 2 hours. So if you want to do the 2 to 4 time window, that's totally cool on a Saturday. But there's a little bit of a different twist. With the open houses, the way that I share it is you want to make it a 3-hour open house. So that third hour, I guess, that third hour actually happens before the main show. So this means from 1 to 2, there's this exclusivity, and that's called the neighborhood hour. So let's back up. So from 1 to 2 is your neighborhood hour. This is where you invite people within the neighborhood to come in at this time, 1 to 2. From 2 to 4, that is the prime time. That is your mega open house time. Now the neighborhood hour, that's something that you're gonna add if you plan to do some additional legwork. Meaning, if you plan to door knock the area and invite the neighbors to the neighborhood hour, that's what's gonna drive you adding that as part of your neighborhood hour, as part of your mega open house strategy. So within that first hour, you are driving traffic from the neighbors, either sending them direct mailers or doing a little bit of guerrilla marketing and putting little hangers out there for all of the neighbors to have, or straight up door knocking them. So there's different ways, different budgets that you can work with. If you have the budget, then print out and send out the mailers. Great. If you have the budget, then either print out the door hangers and you go and personally do it, or hire somebody to do it. Or if you don't have the budget, or don't want to make the budget, if you will, doesn't matter, it's up to you, then you personally go and door knock the neighborhood. That way you're driving people to that hour. So again, from 1 to 2 is the neighborhood hour, only for the neighbors. So the script doesn't need to be any complicated. So you just door knock the neighbor and said, hey, Hey neighbor, just wanted to let you know that I have an open house on Miss Becky's house this Saturday from 2 to 4. However, I am door knocking the neighborhood and inviting all of her neighbors to come in for our neighborhood hour from 1 to 2. So if you wanted to drop by, we'd love to see you. It's that simple. So you're inviting people to that hour. Now, why are we doing that? Well, Jaime, why in the heck would you do that? It's a lot of work. It is. It is a lot of work. But the reason that you're doing that is for several. One, you don't know if somebody was wanting their kids, their grandkids, their neighbor or a friend, their cousins, any other family members. You don't know what the neighborhood is like or what they want for their family. Maybe they want their family to move a little bit closer. Well, if you know that the house is coming online here very shortly because the big open house is happening, well, they could very well be your buyers. That's awesome. But in reality, that's not even the primary reason that you're doing this. The primary reason that you're doing this is because they're going to see you. You have a relationship with these people at this point. And guess what happens next? The moment that they start thinking about selling their house, who are they going to reach out to if you play your cards right? So this is more of a listing play. Yes, is it going to help you help you sell a house faster by potentially bringing in a buyer? Yeah, I would suppose so. But that's not really the angle that you're playing because not everyone's going to be in that situation. You are starting a relationship with the neighbors. They're going to see how hard you're working for Miss Becky. So they're going to be more prone to reach out to you now that you have that. Now, one big follow-up piece to this is once you do have that exchange and communicate with those neighbors, then the next play is for you to send them a thank you card the following week. See what I mean? So anybody that you connect with, whether they come to your open house or not, it doesn't matter. You just send them a thank you card and you start the relationship. You start the friendship. That's how you start becoming the absolute killer within that neighborhood. Start building that awareness. So let me know if you have any questions on that. Let's see. Warren, good morning, Jaime. Warren from California. Great to have you, Warren. I appreciate you. Jaime, would you place a picture of house on the Facebook post? I would not. It's just a post. No. So when it comes to, so what Warren's alluding to is that post of what year did you buy your first home is? No, it's just, we're not leading the witnesses. We're just asking a question and getting some engagement that way. You can add a GIF or a GIF or however you say it that is going to draw attention to it so people can stop scrolling and actually see it. You can do that. But as far as a picture, there's no need for that. That's a great question, though. All right, so with the open house strategy, I really wanted to highlight that aspect of the neighborhood hour because it's super important. And then, of course, you host the open house, put out the bandit signs, pointing people to the area. Typically, you want to do that on the Friday before and drive it as many people to it as possible. Ideally, you want to have an ad running from Friday to Saturday. So really crank out an ad. I strongly suggest that if you're going to do some paid promotion to it via Facebook, then you start the approval process with Facebook on Wednesday because it does take some time for the ad to get approved, especially now with different criteria going on. So you will get it approved on Wednesday. Typically, it's going to get approved either the same day or the next day. Once you get that approved, you're going to pause the ad. The only reason you started on Wednesday is so you could pause the ad. But come Friday, that's when you crank it up. That's when you crank up. You spend $100 that day, $100 the next day. Now, the reason that we absolutely pump the traffic on Friday and Saturday is because people are going to forget if you ask them to sign in. And I have an open house ad. If you would like to see it, just email me at admin@jaimeresendiz.com. I can share it with you. What you're doing is trying to get somebody's information prior to even showing up. And you're going to notice that many of them actually won't show up. But that's okay. You got some leads this way. Anyway, so the reason that we don't do it from Monday to start the advertising is because it's too far in advance. People are going to forget. You would like for people ideally to show up because that's going to really filter out the people that are not serious. So we're not going to start that early on with our advertising. We're going to initiate the ad on Wednesday just to get it approved. Once it's approved, we're going to pause it until Friday. Then on Friday, we're going to crank it. We're going to do $100, $200, whatever it is within your budget. You just understand that you're going to crank it on Friday and on Saturday. So if you have $250 allocated to this marketing spend, then you're going to do 125 on Friday, and then 125 on Saturday. And you don't turn off the ad until the actual open house is over. So this is how you start driving so many different people. People are going to reach out to you directly and give you their contact information. So as soon as they give you their contact information, and it's going way too much into the weeds, I'll probably need to do an open house video just specifically for this, because I know that I'm going way fast on this. But when people give you their contact information, you're calling them, and it's going to be very powerful if you're calling them about the open house that from 2 to 4, which is what you have. So just giving you some different strategies, giving you the neighborhood hour, giving you the ads and how they work, giving you different ways to drive traffic to it. When you're at the open house, you of course want to get people to sign in. I personally do not do the cookies and the water show. That's just doesn't sell houses. That just adds to your expense. I'd much rather spend the $80 that I would spend feeding people and run some ads, do something more useful with your money. So once that happens, then of course you want to follow up with all the people that signed in, whether you have an app for that or you have a paper where people can physically sign in. I know, the situation that we're in doesn't always call for the traditional way of getting people's information, but once you have people sign in, before you leave the house, you're going to do one quick recording, depending on how many you got. If you got 50 people going in, then just get a general recording going. Record yourself. Hey, thanks so much for dropping by my open house today. Really enjoyed connecting with you. If I can be of service, please feel free to let me know. Something simple, and you send that out in video format to everybody that attended. It's real that simple. If you didn't get that many, if you didn't get 50 people that signed in, that's okay. If you got 12, then do an individual one. Hey, Jake, thanks so much for dropping by the open house. Really enjoyed getting to learn more about your needs and also learning about your family. So if I can be of service down the road, please feel free to reach out. Boom, send it out. Just be very, very quick with it. Be intentional with it. You just want people to know and be aware that you exist beyond that open house. You want to continue the relationship because you are going to be dripping them down the road. That's the reason that many people do open houses. So the mega open house is just a strategy for you to get more and more people to work with. So does that make sense? All right. So, alrighty. Sorry, I thought I closed off that browser. Let's see. Fast flippers, loving it. Hey, I appreciate that. Let's see, Warren. Okay, got it. Thanks. You're welcome, Warren. Let's see over here. Love your content. Any tips for getting more comfortable on camera? Repetition helps a lot. Somebody that I would actually encourage you to follow is Chrissy Ball. She is on Instagram, so just search her up, Chrissy Ball, CHRISSY, Ball, BALL. So she's actually gonna come and speak to my personal real estate team next week, I believe. So tomorrow I have the former #1 Keller Williams agent in the world, Leo Pareja. He's gonna come and speak to my real estate team, just my real estate team. So I don't even know why I'm sharing this, because I can't invite anybody that's not on my team. I know Warren is, so Warren's gonna be benefiting from these guests. Where was I going with this? It wasn't about Leo. It was about Chrissy. Sorry. Back to the point. Let me bring that up for even my sanity. Love your content. Any tips for getting more comfortable on camera? Chrissy Ball is somebody that used to work in Hollywood. Actually, she still works in Hollywood. She's a stunt woman in Hollywood. And she teaches you how to get more comfortable on camera. So she's going to be a fantastic follow. But from my standpoint, my personal advice on getting comfortable with camera is, 1, just build in the reps. 2, you may have some limiting beliefs of, oh, I don't like the way I sound. Okay. I don't like the way I look. Okay. Well, guess what? People have been hearing you and seeing you all of this time. The only difference is that you hadn't been able to do that. So the moment that you realize that this is how you sound anyway, this is how you look anyway, the moment that you really accept that is when you're going to be able to do video at a high level. So build in the reps. 2, realize that this is how you sound and this is how you look. There's nothing you can do about it. If you really do feel very self-conscious about that, then get a voice coach. I've considered doing a voice coach in the past. I know that my voice is not the radio voice that I would like to have, but that's okay. So if you wanted to enhance that part of your game, then absolutely. But again, just build in the reps and then just have that realization that you sound and look this way anyway. How would you write a thank you card for people who didn't attend the open house? Whitney, I would write a thank you card to anybody that I spoke to. I don't care if they came to my open house. It's not about them coming to my open house, and that's a great question, Whitney. Anybody that I made contact with, you're gonna take your notebook or whatever or your iPhone, and then just put the address that answered and their name, and they're gonna get a card regardless. It doesn't matter if they can. It doesn't matter if they come. So they're gonna get the thank you anyway. So, but to answer your question a little bit more directly, how would you write a thank you card? Don't even reference the open house in the form of them attending. So don't say something like, "Hey, thanks for coming out to the open house." No, don't do that. You just can do more of a recap. Hey, Chris, thanks so much for connecting on Friday. Because remember, you're doing this on Friday. You're doing this the day before the open house. So, hey, Chris, thanks for connecting on Friday. Our open house was massive. So you're gonna have a really good neighbor very soon. That's it. You throw in your business card and you're done. So you're giving more of a recap. Whether they were there or not, it doesn't matter. You never said, "Hey, thanks for coming out to the open house," because you don't care. You don't care if they come or not. In a way you do, but you know what I mean. In phone prospecting, I am much more successful on weekends. How about you? I don't do much phone prospecting, and this is Tom over here. I don't do much phone prospecting. I do a lot of attraction marketing where people actually reach out to me. So for me, it's I call them as quickly as possible, whether that's a new agent looking to sign up with my team, or whether that's a buyer that's looking to work with the team. I call them as quickly as possible. Whether that's a seller that's looking to list, I call them as quickly as possible, secure the listing, and then I pass it off to the team to actually work. So a lot of my game now from the buyer and seller side is from the referral side. So that's how I approach it. But as far as weekend prospecting, I have heard that in the past, and there's a reason that people dial in the evenings and then in weekends. I have heard that in the past. I used to sell books door to door, believe it or not, in Tennessee, 2010, 9, 8. Yeah, 2008. And we call that the gravy day, where we would go and door knock Monday through Friday from like 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And people that we got a hold of, or at least knew that they showed some level of interest, or we just actually even people that we couldn't get a hold of, we would come back on Saturdays, and that's where we would do that was our gravy day, because people would be home at that point. All right, folks. Well, I absolutely appreciate you. I want to be respectful of your time. A like goes a long way. Anybody else that you feel within your sphere of influence, real estate agents from this standpoint, if you feel that they could benefit from our information today, I absolutely encourage you to reach out to them. One last thing, I'll give you a bonus. If you're wanting to do Facebook ads and you want to do Facebook ads very, very quickly, I'll give you a sneak peek at something that I've been working on. So if you go to Dscribe, so that's the letter D, and then Scribe, so DSCRIBE.ai. If you go to that, you're going to find a way to run Facebook ads with 3 clicks. And you may be thinking, Jaime, that's stupid. You're lying. No. No. So if you go to Dscribe, DSCRIBE.ai, you can do the free trial. It's 7-day free trial. And you can actually launch an ad with 3 clicks. Go and try it. Go and try it. You can actually do an open house ad too. But it's going to be something you're going to be really, really surprised with. I'll have more information on that down the road because I'm working on something pretty special there. But you're gonna be surprised. I didn't even have this one written down. I thought it'd be a nice bonus as we were talking about ads earlier, and I didn't go into too much clarity on how to do that. So I just want to give you that as a bonus. If you go to Describe, DSCRIBE .ai, you're gonna be surprised at how quickly you can launch ads. So just wanted to offer that to you because I didn't go too much into the ad part on targeting. I did give you an ad copy out. If you're interested in the ad copy, just admin at JaimeResendiz.com. But just wanted to offer that and provide some value along the way. Who do we have here? Living in Rockville, Maryland. Thank you, Jaime. Hey, I appreciate you being here. Awesome information as always. Warren, you are more than welcome, and thank you so much. All right, folks, make it a fantastic Monday. Make it a fantastic week. I was going to say weekend. No, we just came from it. Make it a fantastic week, and I'll see you on Friday. Bye.